Hello, guys, and welcome back to the podcast. It's so good to have you here with me today. And I'm going to do a little bit of a different episode today because I've actually been thinking about this recently quite a bit. And it's not something I've ever heard someone talk about on a podcast. And it's not something that I've heard a lot of entrepreneurs talk about. But to me, it's one of the biggest benefits to becoming an entrepreneur, the biggest benefits to building a jewelry business. And so today I'm going to be talking about what to me is the best part of building a jewelry business that, as I said, I don't think anyone really talks about, and people don't often even recognize that this is honestly one of the most life-changing aspects of building a jewelry business. And that is the person that you become on the way, the person that you evolve into on your journey of building your jewelry business. It is so wild how, when I look back on my story, I see an incredible evolution from before, when I was in the corporate world, my personality, how much space I took up, how confident I was in using my voice, all those little things. And it was I was very much a shell of the person I am today. And when I look back there and I look at how building a jewelry business evolved and helped me grow and helped me step into my truest self, my most authentic self, and help me find my voice and help me feel more connected to myself and more connected to the world around me. And, just how much my confidence grew, how much my spark came back, how much I started to embrace being seen. It is incredible. I was like two very different people from the corporate world, where I was very much boxed in, and I didn't realize it at the time because I did enjoy a lot of aspects of my job. I enjoyed the safety of the corporate world for sure. But I didn't realize how much that impacts your personality and you as an individual. And just looking back, it's so incredible to look back and see how much I developed as a person and really stepped into myself through building my jewelry business. And even now, I've had multiple businesses at this point, and it's so incredible to see how business is such an incredible, well, specifically entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is such an incredible opportunity for you to grow as an individual, for you to find your voice, for you to connect to yourself, for you to connect to others who really resonate with what it is that are your values, that are things that are important to you. And it's honestly mind-blowing. I feel like it fast tracks your growth by decades, literally by decades, because it's not like you're sitting there reading personal development books. And, I've read my fair share of books for sure, but it's one thing reading that. It's another thing being forced to practice it and being forced to really live that and embody that. And what I find that is one of the hardest things about building your jewelry business, it forces you to face the blocks within yourself and to move through those blocks. You can't go around them. There is no way around. And I've seen this with my clients as well. The number of clients who come to me and be like, hey, Robin, so I'm going to do everything in the Jewelry Business Academy apart from like this, because I'm not comfortable going on camera and I don't really want to do that. And, the number of people who say this to me, it's so funny, because within one day of them joining, generally 1 to 5 days of them joining, we have them on video. And not only that, we have them taking small, tolerable steps that are uncomfortable, but they're not extreme, to build their confidence and build their belief within themselves that they are worthy of being seen, that they are worthy of taking up space, that they are worthy of having their voice heard, that they are worthy of sharing their story, that they are worthy of promoting their art and their designs. And it is incredible, even just when in the first 10 days of clients coming into my program, I see a huge shift in a lot of my clients because they come in very much taking up as little space as possible. I've even had people on calls before they join the academy, just their body language when they're sitting there, it's small, their shoulders are hunched over. They are trying to take up as little space as possible. And obviously, this isn't the case for everyone, but I've seen this with a lot of artists that I've spoken to and designers. They try to just take up a polite amount of space, and they try not to be too much for anyone, and they try just to do the right thing. And when they come in and we put them straight into this 10-day challenge, the growth I see just in those first 10 days, where we start breaking down those barriers, we start breaking down those blocks in terms of the fear of being on camera, the fear of being seen, the fear of taking up space, the fear of being annoying. Just those first 10 days, I have had clients tell me that their spark is back, that they are feeling energized again, that they are feeling more connected to others in the community, that they're feeling more connected to themselves, that they're feeling more motivated to show up in their business, that they're feeling just excited about their business again. And they're just excited for this journey, and they can sense like, oh my goodness, I'm in for a bit of a roller coaster here, because we do push our clients in the academy, give them a healthy push, because we want them to live their best lives. We want them to build the best business that they can possibly do with the time and energy that they have. And everyone obviously is coming in at very different stages, but it's one of my favorite things is to watch the evolution of my clients as they go through the academy, as they start embracing taking up space with them for themselves and for their businesses, as they start embracing being seen, embracing using their voice. And for some people, it's really interesting. I've had a few people say to me, well, I actually don't know what my voice is. And I can resonate with that, because I've been there before many, many years ago. I didn't know what my voice was, because I'd spent so many years boxing it in. I'd spent so many years trying to just take up as little space as possible. Spent so many years just trying to play small so nobody could judge me, criticize me, because the reality is putting yourself in a position of building a business puts you at risk of failure. It puts you at risk of judgment. It puts you at risk of criticism. And there are always going to be people criticizing you. I mean, I have people criticizing me. And what's so interesting is these are always people who are doing less than you. These are always people not showing up. These are always people who haven't done what it is that you're looking to do, because I've never, ever, ever come across somebody criticizing others for showing up, for taking messy action, for trying to build their business, for trying to sell their artwork, who's been in their shoes before. Because if you've been in those shoes before, you know how scary it is. You know how uncomfortable it is. If you are somebody like me who for many years didn't use my voice, it is so scary to start using your voice, because what is going to happen is you're going to make mistakes. What is going to happen is you're going to stumble. What is going to happen is you're going to maybe regret some of the things you do say. And that's okay. That's all part of the journey. That's all part of the growth. And you have to be willing to make those mistakes. You have to be willing and allow yourself to be human as you grow in that way. You have to give room for that. And I don't know why we often hold ourselves to such an incredibly high standard that, hey, I can't make mistakes. Hey, I can't do something that is embarrassing. Hey, I can't do anything that's cringy. I can't do anything that's going to let anyone judge me or criticize me, because in the very olden days, that would put us at risk of being kind of exiled from our community. But that's not the world we're living in now, at least for the most part. I know there's still people who like canceling other people online, but I will just say, for pretty much everyone listening to this, you're probably not big enough to be canceled, so you don't have to worry about that. You just have to start embracing, showing up for yourself and showing up for your business, and take it step by step. So I did have a plan for this episode, but I got carried away because it just lights me up when I think about my story and how I've evolved as a person through entrepreneurship and through building my jewelry business. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for the journey. I'm so grateful for all of the challenges that I faced that forced me to grow as an individual. Every single one of those challenges forced me to be more resilient. It forced me to start learning to practice detachment from my business, which is a massive, massive one. It forced me to grow in confidence. It forced me to start getting comfortable using my voice. It forced me to get comfortable being seen. It forced me to be comfortable connecting with others and having conversations with other people and other customers and designers. And I'm so grateful for all of that, because how sad would it be if when you launch a business on day one, your sales are at like 500,000? I can't think of anything worse, because to me, that will keep you comfortable. If you from day one are super successful, and this is obviously different. If you've had 30 years of experience in business, it's a very different story. But if for anyone listening to this, you look back to the person you were on day one when you started your jewelry business, think back to that person. How did they feel? How did that version of you feel in terms of using your voice, showing up on camera, talking to people, engaging with others online or in person, taking up space, being seen? How resilient were you at that point? How good were you at handling challenges? How emotionally attached were you to your business? How much of an emotional roller coaster did you go through when things were going wrong? Or how much of an emotional roller coaster did you go through when every month at the beginning of the month, your sales are starting from zero? If you look back to that version of yourself, and even if you want to journal about how that version of you felt, and then fast forward to where you are today, maybe you're 15 years into business, maybe you're 10 years in, maybe you're 3 years in, maybe you're 3 months in. Just take some time to look at, how have I grown as an individual through building this business so far? Because I can guarantee every single one of you are going to have grown. And it's one of, as I said, my favorite parts. And I'm just thinking of my clients right now. One is coming to mind who, on our very first call together, told me, she had so much anxiety around being seen. She had so much anxiety around being on camera, so much so that she didn't have any wedding photos from her wedding. And it was heartbreaking for me to hear that. The number of women I meet who don't feel comfortable being seen, who don't feel comfortable taking up space, who don't feel comfortable in their own bodies or with using their voice is really heartbreaking to me. And we worked through that, and it's incredible. I won't obviously share too many details here because I want to protect her privacy, but I now see her doing multiple photo shoots. She's on camera all the time, no makeup, super happy, super energized, super connected to those around her and connected to herself, and is now honoring herself so much more, is now allowing herself to be seen, is now allowing herself to be celebrated. And it's so beautiful to see. And, those little things, it seems like such a little thing, but it impacts people's lives so significantly. We only have one life. We're only here once. This is not a dress rehearsal. And so often we fall into this autopilot and we're just going through the motions of life. And what I love about entrepreneurship is it forces you to wake up. It forces you, when those challenges arise, where you're like, oh my goodness, am I going to get through this? How am I going to move through this? Like, what am I going to do? And it kind of jolts you awake occasionally when those things happen. And it forces you to step back and just take a bit of a view as to where you're at, what you need to do moving forward, what the purpose of your business is, what it is that you're wanting it to fulfill. And then you take action again moving forward. But doing that also, forces you to start rewiring your brain in terms of the beliefs that you have about yourself. So many of our beliefs are just these subconscious patterns that we have that are from years and years and years of us doing things the same way. And your beliefs shape who you are so significantly because they shape the habits that you do on a daily basis. They shape how you feel about yourself. And it is possible to rewire. It is possible to shift your beliefs. It is possible to build confidence within yourself, but it takes so much consistency. It takes really being conscious of wanting to do that. So yeah, I would say that journey of self-discovery that entrepreneurship takes you, that building your business takes you on, is just so powerful. It really forces you to step outside of your comfort zone. You know, it encourages you to take risks. It encourages you to face your fears in small little ways, and sometimes in even really big ways. It encourages you to build your confidence, because it is massively confidence boosting when you have a severe fear of showing up online, for example, or sharing your art with the world, and you start doing it and you start receiving feedback from others that are really positive, and you start feeling more comfortable doing that. It forces you to embrace being visible, allowing yourself to be seen, which sounds like such a simple concept, but the number of women I meet that really struggle with being seen, fully seen for who they are, is wild to me. And I want to remind you, if that's you, you can show up as you are in the most authentic and genuine way to you and your brand, whether that's no makeup, like how you look doesn't matter. It's the energy that you're showing up with. It's the things that you're talking about. You can show up as you are and allow yourself to do that, and you can be celebrated for who you are, and you can sell jewelry showing up in a very, really authentic way. You do not have to step into being a different person to do that, but you do want to step into being, maybe a more confident version of yourself. And that doesn't mean louder. That could mean quiet confidence as well. And this whole process really, it just grows you as an individual so much. I always say to anyone who's wanting to grow as an individual and is like, oh, can you give me all the podcast recommendations, all the book recommendations? I just want to really grow as an individual. I just say to them, go build a business. Go and build a business. Build a jewelry business, build whatever business is resonating with you, but you will learn so much on that journey. You will grow so much on that journey. Another thing about this whole concept of who you become in the process of building your business is how much the power of connection has to play in helping you step into that version of yourself and helping you become that version of yourself. It is so important to build connections with others, whether that's other customers, whether that's other brand owners that you're collaborating with, whether that's your community. Connections make us feel alive. And this is connections that are in alignment with you and your business. And that's why showing up as authentically as possible allows you to draw in people who are going to really connect with you. And then you're going to build these really incredible relationships with them. And one example that's coming to mind is just the Jewelry Business Academy. When I was building my jewelry business many, many years ago, I didn't have a program like the one that we have today. I didn't have a community. I felt incredibly alone on that journey. And yes, I did meet other designers. I did meet other makers. I did become friends with them. But it still wasn't at the depth that our community, our members build their relationships at this stage. We have people literally doing meetups, becoming best friends, connecting pretty much almost every day with one another, because they're so in alignment, because we've drawn in people who are super in alignment with our approach to building a business, which is showing up authentically, which is embracing being seen, which is, showing up for your business as well, and building a profitable business in a way that really feels good. And so that connection aspect is so powerful, and people are going to also surrounding yourself with people who are on the same path as you with the same or similar goals as you and all taking action together, it makes it, number one, so much easier to take action. And number two, it makes you move through those actions so much faster. Because let's face it, it's so much easier going with other people, feeling supported on that journey. And that in turn helps you grow as an individual so much faster as well. And when blocks come up, when fears come up, you can almost guarantee you're not the only one with that. You're going to have others with those similar fears, working through those, processing those, feeling supported through those, and coming out the other side stronger, more confident, more excited about your business, whatever those challenges may be. So, there's also that sense of fulfillment that your jewelry business gives you. And that sense of fulfillment builds confidence. It brings your spark back. It brings your energy back. There's just so many benefits to, if jewelry is important to you, if art or design is important to you, if having control over your time is important to you and doing work that's fulfilling is important to you. It is incredible how you evolve as a person when you are doing work that is truly fulfilling, which is how I feel. I feel beyond grateful for the work I get to do because I feel so fulfilled by it. I feel so connected by it. And it's really helped me grow into the person I am, and I'm continuing to grow into. Another thing is, and this ties into fulfillment, but I've seen clients and I've seen myself become more energized, become more enthusiastic about life itself, just because of who they are able to become, who they become in the process of building their jewelry business, who they allow themselves to start becoming. I often feel like very deep within all of us, there's that version of us that we would love to be. There's that version of like our higher self, who's the most confident self, who's the most engaging self, who just moves through life much more effortlessly, who is much more resilient, who is able to deal with challenges without like having an emotional breakdown every time, who is able to connect with people easily, who is just excited about life. And I find that building a business that fulfills you, and building a jewelry business in particular, really brings that out. And I've seen that with my clients as well. I've had clients tell me, I had one actually yesterday tell me that she's only been in the program, I think, a month. And she's like, my spark has come back already. I'm feeling more energized. I'm feeling more excited, just because of the structure here, because of like the things that I'm doing to start continue building my business. Actually, she's pretty established. And then also when it comes to overcoming challenges, we all know entrepreneurship is not easy. Business building is not easy. And that's why I love it. Things that are easy are not rewarding. We want it to, those challenges are there to help you grow. Now, there's a difference between winging it and dealing with ridiculous challenges nonstop 24/7. That can break you down. But dealing with challenges that force you to move through blocks, dealing with little problems, that adds meaning to our life. That contributes to our growth. That contributes to us building resilience, which is so valuable in business and in life. So, I want to keep this episode short and sweet. It's already gone a little longer than I planned on doing this for, but I'd love for you to take some time to think about, who was I before I started building this business? And how has building my jewelry business helped me evolve into the person I am today? What am I grateful for in my journey that's helped me evolve into the person I am today? And I would love, love, love to hear from you, like what your evolution has been. So if you're listening to this, please take 1 minute to screenshot the episode you're listening to, tag me on Instagram, it's Robin Clark Coaching, and let me know in like one sentence or more, how entrepreneurship or how building your jewelry business has helped you evolve into the person you are today, or what are those top 3 like character traits that you have now that you didn't have before when you hadn't yet started your jewelry business. I would love to hear that. I love, one last story, then we'll wrap it up. But I just love seeing people step into themselves, step into their most authentic selves, embrace being seen, kind of stepping out of their shell. And when I look at my evolution, when I look at my clients' evolution, every single one of them, some of them started off more confident maybe, but every single one of them has slowly been like peeling back layers and peeling back layers on their journey of entrepreneurship. And we're getting to that core self where they're more confident, where they're more resilient, where they're energized, where they have that spark, where they take up space, where they embrace being seen, where they use their voice. And this impacts not only your business in terms of driving more sales, being able to have that flexibility with time, all of that fun stuff. I mean, I'm a huge fan of that as well. But it changes how they interact with people in their lives. It changes the relationships they allow themselves to go into. It changes the behaviors that they'll put up with in relationships as well. And so the impact that building a jewelry business has on just who you become and the rest of your life in terms of your relationships and what you'll accept for yourself, it just changes the game. So I wanted to share this, and I hope it has kind of helped anyone who maybe is going through a challenging season to put things in perspective and look at the growth that you're going through as an individual as well. And if you do want my perspective, if you want my support in your jewelry business, you can head to jewelrybusinessacademy.ca to learn more. We have one of the most incredible communities of jewelry business owners, literally from around the world, all doing the same thing as you guys, all building and scaling their jewelry business. And this community is incredibly special. I've never seen jewelry business owners connect and uplift one another to such an extent, to who continually show up despite the fear in their businesses, despite the discomfort of being seen, who are committed to growth personally and in their business. You're also going to get all the systems and strategies that we know work. These are proven systems and strategies for anyone who's just getting started out in their business to those who are very established. We have clients who come in making multiple six figures, who've been in business over 15 years, and we can help you scale from that point as well. And what we're going to do is we have a 90-day jewelry business blueprint. So when you come in, we're going to hit the ground running, and within just 3 hours a day, every day for 90 days, you are going to have completely changed the trajectory of your business and your life. You are going to be feeling excited about your business. You are going to be seeing results in your business. You are going to see increased engagement, increase in sales. And so for anyone who's ready to double, triple, quadruple their sales, who is ready to embrace being visible, who's ready to grow as an individual, and who wants to do all of this in less time and with less energy, head to jewelrybusinessacademy.ca to learn more, and you can go ahead and book in a free call with one of my team. So this has been so much fun, guys. I'm going to wrap it up here, and I can't wait to share next week's episode with you.